Hello there chaps, this is going to be part 2 of how to paint an ethereal vampire. Now the last part we made a lighter shade, which is going to be this here, and we're just going to get on our brush and take off most of it on our handy dandy tissue. Now this doesn't have to be a really dry brush, it just has to be dry brush. In fact, that's probably, I think it's going to be quite a wet dry brush, but not too wet. So that how that looks. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So just gonna dry brush over it. Doesn't have to be neat. In fact, I will use a dry brushing brush. Just gonna dry brush over the whole model. It's probably not gonna make a difference too much. But just covers all them areas. And on something which I didn't see, I thought this was metal, and it's in fact not. I have absolutely no idea. I think I'm going to leave it as metal, just so there's more to look at on the model. Okay, now that dry brush is done, I'm going to do the exact same process, just with a lighter dry brush. Excuse me. So it's going to be quite light turquoise now. Here we go. This will be quite a wet brush, but not too wet. Sorry if I go out of the camera a little bit. Just make sure to get everywhere. And any bits that you don't completely get, you can go over with a regular brush later. And the next step, take a guess. That's right, adding more skull white. No. That's a very whitish colour. Dry it off. Still going to want quite a wet brush, but not too wet, so it covers up all the details. And now it's starting to look, I don't know if you can see it, but quite ghostly. At this point, we're not trying to go for all the cracks and crevices. Well, we weren't before, but just be very careful not to go in them. If you do, not the end of the world, don't panic. Just, we can go over it in either a wash or just a regular brush later. Yeah, and I do apologise if I go out of focus. The camera's at a funny angle, so I can barely see the screen. Right. And there we go. That's looking very ghostly. And since these are flying, I'm going to even take it a step further and just go for some pure white highlights at the very end. So the next step, add some more skull white. Yeah, I can see this is very boring, but deal with it. I don't know about you, I really like dry brushing, probably because it's so easy. Now I'm going to go, if I could call this a colour from Citadel, I'll call this ice blue. Actually, a lot whiter than ice blue, I think. And don't worry if the underneath paint hasn't quite dried, because if it blends on its own, then yeah, that's the effect. Just make sure to get all the hairs. There we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, let's take a look at the model. Let me just quickly wash it on the brush. Let's take a look at the model here. Now, with painting ghost effects or smoke or whatever, you're going to want to have the end bits a lot whiter than the actual middle parts. For instance, if I just pick up, oh, balls, pick up the huge Coven throne. If you look, yeah, it hasn't even glued yet, so I was just seeing what it looks like. It goes into, the ends go into like quite a white tone. Probably see more clearly on this one. They go into a very white tone. You can do it the opposite way. You can even do it a light going into a dark. But for this particular army, I'm going to do dark going into light. So, the next step, yep, you guessed it, more skull white. And these are going to be very, very light now. I'm just going to go make sure the edges are definitely cleared. And I'm not going to dry brush too much on the actual torso. I'm just going to try and pick up the edges. There we go. Just pick up the main edges. Don't bother about trying to get every last bit. I'm going to do the hands, because if you have noticed, the hands are quite high, so it's going to be going from light, dark, light. And the hair. I'm really sorry that I keep going out of focus, everyone. The face. Get the breasts a bit. Oh, this is so immature. Right. Hit high areas. I'm absolutely so sorry about me keep going out of focus. Okay. Now the next step will be another pure, well, almost pure skull white. Now what you should probably find is that this is a very high point of the model, so probably the Banshee will be a lot brighter than the Coven Throne or Mortis Engine Ghost itself. So just bear that in mind. Just going to pick out the tiniest of edges. Not going to bother too much about them. Just going to accent them. And the hair, even though it's a dark, even though it should be quite shadowed, I'm going to try and brighten up. As you can see there, I've accidentally gone to the cracks. That's, well, not good, but it's good for this purpose of the video. So so I can, yeah, and again on the hands, just so I can show you later how to get rid of it. There we go. And the last step is going to be pure skull white. And it's again going to be quite a wet brush, but just don't panic too much about drying it off. Okay, all I'm going to do at this point is just get the edges. Probably haven't had enough. Let's just grab some more. There you go. Right. At this point you can even put it painted on and just slowly bring it to a stop. Yeah, at this point you could probably paint it on, but right. And that's the basics of painting Ethereal. Now, I'm over time, but I will come back to this. So see you in the next video for the final part, part 3.